y'all. Was good. Peace, peace. I'm not sure if I was going to go live today or not for a lot of good reasons, but I wanted to because I want to be transparent. I'm just eating some grapes, y'all. Getting it in my body however I can. Oh man, let's just start with the star booms. Okay, so I wanted to share about the 16/7 day and a way that you could look at it. Today is 6/19/2025. 6/19 is a karmic number plus 9. You don't add the 9, so it's basically 25/7. However, because you could find the karmic number in it, it's best to just look at the karmic number because there's going to be some form of implications to that energy in the day, regardless, even if you do or don't want to look at it. I don't know why, but I feel like I need to clear the energy real quick. Thank you to my ancestors for being here with me, to my higher self for connecting to me at the highest vibrational frequency. I ask that only the messages that are necessary at this moment be shared and that any negative energy that is being sent be shut down. I thank you. 16/7 is like the brace for impact. Um, it's so crazy when you look at certain energies, being able to understand them and interpret them in your own way because you allow it to actually be personal to you. And that's been my desire because it's like a lot of times we involve ourselves in a lot of stuff, that don't have nothing to do with us. And it'd be difficult to be able to see your circumstance. 222, that's so beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. It'd be difficult to see your circumstance sometimes in a thing when you don't have the ability to see how it will fit. And sometimes it's just because we don't allow it. That's what the 16/7 is. The 16/7 is you knew because you went ahead and you seen. Now you got to accept it. Why? Because of what is next. 16/7 comes in to teach you how to basically be at the rate that you've been praying for this. A lot of us don't recognize that we've been praying for certain things, that we've been asking for certain things, and that there are change and alterations that we have to make within ourselves for us to actually allow the space for it to come. And sometimes we don't want to do that because sometimes the changes that we are aware that need to be made, we perceive them to be things that are like unimaginable. Okay. Um, for me, it's really, really personal. And I desire to basically be at a rate where I share it because a lot of times it's easier said than done. If you have an experience, you could be able to say, you know what, that's actually happening right now. And a lot of us don't understand because it's a one of one type of thing. There's this omnipresence that exists amongst the community, amongst the family, that is happening with all of us, just in different rates and different, you know, at different capacities, at different levels, right? Um, for whatever reason, you could be able to gain something from somebody else's ability to actually show up and what it is that they're processing. And it could help you be able to kind of see and perceive your circumstance different. 16/7 for me is extremely personal because it's around me a lot. It's around me so much. At first, when I met this energy, so let's start with the numbers first. The one, so for a fact, it's a 25/7 day. All right. And the reason why that's amazing is because you could be at both rates. You'll know where you're at in your space. That's why I'm basically going to share the 25/7 first. Okay. So the 25 basically is about the intuitive, change that creates the key. All right. The two, like I said, is extremely psychic. It's extremely knowing. It has the ability to know why the seed is the seed and how to germinate it to give it what it needs. The five then comes in and it takes the roots that was planted in the situation. But yet, with the two and the five, there's this idea and this understanding that the three and the four came in order for the five to be. So there has to be like some togetherness, but it's so sharp in this space. The two is very, very flipping upside down. So when it comes to being able to take your psychic abilities and flip it upside down on the head of something in order for you to get to the seven, there's still like a little bit of challenge there if you're in a space of resistance. That's what the 16 kind of goes back to. The one and the six, like I said, because it's a karmic number, it starts with the one. The one and the six is basically that knowing that comes straight down from source, that seed that you've planted, and then the mother that is basically birthing something. Now, here's the thing, because this mother is aware that there is a future ahead, she's already went before and she has the keys. The thing is that you have to be at a rate where you sit in your knowing and you accept full responsibility for what has come, because you see the trajectory of what decisions you make and how they're going to affect you in the future and in the time to actually come. It becomes complicated when the decisions that you have to make are the things that you didn't never see, like you never seen this coming, right? One of the things that I learned recently, I had been basically wanting to create a space where I could be at a rate with myself and in my life, right? I was aware that there were people, places, circumstance, situationships that were around me that didn't really feed me or actually reciprocate the energy that I contribute to spaces. And because of that, I would continue to go to myself in meditation. I would continue to sit still with the spirit and just basically be poured into. And I would be in this space where I would be poured into regardless. And that's the beautiful thing about having a relationship with your spirit team, having a relationship where you're becoming self-aware and you're really, really passionate about you connecting to layers of yourself that you may have disregarded. Being at this rate, you will always be poured into. What you do with the energy after you receive it is really, really your choice. 16-7 comes as a real, real big teacher because there's some, I want to say karmic energy because it's karmic. Karmic be like you married to a person and you don't really understand why you can't really work things out, but at the same time you continue to basically pour into this space because you know that this is where you've created a foundation at, right? However, the 16 will come in and it'll basically tell you to go against the thing that you've completely allowed yourself to nurture for all of this time. It's not doing this to cause pain, and that's why I said when we look at the karmic numbers, we get to look at them at a rate where we're healing, because there's some retribution that has to come, some restructuring that has to come in these karmic numbers. There's some things like past life sometimes that you're having to look at and take a second glance on with your new energy, with your new experiences, your with the lessons that you've gathered and garnered in this space, for you to be able to be at a rate to actually get to the abundance and the harvest that you're actually wanting to go towards. A lot of us don't understand that sometimes the wrong thing to do can be the right thing to do in certain circumstances, because it's actually going to allow you the space that you need to be able to do what's necessary. We don't understand that sometimes we're moving things and energies out of our space and creating firm decisions being made on how we're going to be with ourselves could actually save us. I had put myself in a predicament of wanting to 909, look at spirit, wanting to be at a rate where I could show up for other people. The 16-7 came in and taught me that in giving to these other people, knowing that they couldn't give to me, I ended up feeling empty. And it was up to me to make the decision to give to myself and then put myself at a space where I allowed myself to be full in the giving that I had. Now, here's the tricky part. When you start giving to the space that you weren't giving to, not actually anticipating whether or not anybody else will show up and give with you, right? Not actually wanting to make sense out of the spaces where you previously gave to, it becomes very, very confusing because there's a lot of energies that are very territorial of your ignorance. The 16-7 will come in and it'll teach you how you allow your empathy for certain situations to be weaponized against you. I want to tell all of my sensitive, energetic, veil see through, you know, feeling into other dimension beings, you beautiful, beautiful souls. When you think about being empathic and you think about being at a rate where you could sense, see, feel, and have the capacity to hold a space at a certain rate, you need to be thinking about it at the rate where you're honored in that space. This is not about self, soothing or self satisfying situations. We're going to be sent on missions to be able to show up and to create, a certain trajectory with certain people. A lot of us are always put in predicaments where we might actually be in the dark space, but that's because we found ourselves in this dark place. We mastered the darkness, and our ability to master the darkness allows us to perceive. In your perception, if you're at a rate where people could pull on your heartstrings, you don't have the ability to see the lesson for you in this space. And that's where we as empathics have to start to gain our wings and allow ourselves to float and have that ego view above the situation and not allow our energy to be used as a weapon against us. You will have people who will come into your life when you start to make decisions to actually master things like self-love and caring for yourself, choosing yourself. You'll have people who will come in your life who know they did you wrong. And because they did it behind the back seat, 16 is a sneaky type of energy. You don't know how we've been attacking you in this space. And because you didn't know, we sat in your face and we smiled at you. We connected to you with the desire to be able to get the thing that you weren't using properly because we seen fit how we would use it better. We decided that something that innately belongs to you gets to be ours. And because it gets to be ours, we're going to keep you close in this downcast space, constantly feeding something that isn't going to feed you back. At some point, we have to be at a rate with ourselves where we say no. Where we say no, y'all. Oh, I don't know if y'all heard that. It's just like a family of swines that just flew past my window. That's so beautiful. Oh, so 12-3. Look at spirit. 12-3-4. Come on, spirit. Sometimes you got to be willing to show up for yourself first. And then you got to protect the space where you grew your feet at. A lot of y'all been standing on faulty grounds, and the 16 will come in and it'll knock you down. You get what I'm saying? It'll knock you down, not because it's meant to hurt you, but it's meant to actually say, hey, we were in this space. We were desiring for this thing. I prayed for this thing, but this connection was what was depleting my energy. So each time I would go up for my opportunity to be able to see through to the next level, I couldn't really get it because there was a part of me that I relinquished in this space. The 16 is basically telling you, hey, we done went through and we done actually got all of the things that we were aware that was needed. And we're going to let some stuff off and we're going to purge some stuff. We're going to show up with the receipts of what we've learned. You're going to be able to feel your body and actually be able to understand why you wasn't supposed to be in a certain rate. You're going to go against the things that you may have previously wanted to hold up and support and take care of because you recognize that these are the very things, these are the weapons that have formed against you. That's what it'd be like. It'd be like, these is the weapons that have formed against you. This decision to keep on engaging with this level of addiction. These is the weapons that have formed against you. So you're going to be able to be at a rate where you're not choosing to be in this space to condition yourself and numb yourself down. You might allow yourself to feel these feelings now. You might allow yourself to finally go through the changes that you needed to go through in order for you to be able to be in full representation of yourself. So when that test comes, because 7 be like a test, y'all. 7 is so spicy. It's the thing that basically it's a stuck up type of energy. So I know because I know, and I ain't asking you because I understand it at a different rate, and you don't really get to tell me, but it knows. So it's like you can't really go against the 7 because it's right. And it's a thing that costs. It didn't come easy in this space. It had to basically look into itself, receive itself, and then discern within itself and operate within the best space because it had keys. And it was the only space that it could live in itself to receive and retrieve these keys. The 7 be like that, y'all. So when you're at a rate where you get the, and here's the thing, your ability to show up in the 7 actually is your ability to say that I'm finally ready, and to finally put down and cast away anything that isn't for your highest vibrational frequency, that anything that isn't for your highest good. It could be confusing only if you're not ready. That's what the 16-7 comes to show you. It will hurt you only if you're not ready. Now, hurt and perceived pain and emotions, to being able to, like I said, have the capacity to go through some stuff is not the same thing. I'm talking about a hurt that you hold, the layer of regret that you might have from choosing to love something that would never loving you back. That idea within you is something that we don't have to ever like feed. You don't ever have to feed yourself in regret, hoping that you would have seen something before it had the ability to teach you a lesson. That's what our life be like, y'all. This is how we get what we need to get. Our ability to actually honor the spaces that we find ourselves to be in, and to not just fight them and want to go against them all the time, is our ability to really, really nurture ourselves. And I'll tell you this, once you make that decision, because the 7 wants to be sure that you're sure because of what it's going to give you in the 8, all right? You get to be at a rate where you're going to get tested maybe a couple of times. You might go through a couple of tasks. You might actually have to prove to spirit maybe 2 or 3 times. Let's see if you're going to run that back 3 times. We might give you 4 options and only one of them is for you. And you might have to be at a rate where you're capable of actually being able to move through these things. Here's the thing, if you use your whole being as a tool, and you honor yourself in a rate to where you could see, where you could feel, where you could hear, where you have all of your senses, where you have all of the discernment that's necessary, where you're willing and honest enough within yourself to say, hey, I may have made decisions previously before that could have affected me in a negative rate, but now I trust myself enough to be a discerning spirit for me and my best good. You're going to be at a good rate, because each time you're going to meet it, it might be something as simple as somebody not holding the door. As a divine feminine energy, I know that when I walk into spaces, doors is open for me. And it's not nothing about being snooty. It's something about actually recognizing how people will handle you and how you condition yourself to be at a rate to be treated. It's not about even wanting to or feeling entitled to anything. This is something that happens without asking. So imagine if you're coming into a connection with somebody and you're having to give them access or ease to you, but at the same rate, they don't have the capacity to hold space for you at the rate that you've nurtured yourself at. When you take care of yourself at a certain rate, when you love yourself at a certain rate, people who come in meaning to downgrade your experiences in life will treat you in ways that you never wanted to be treated. Your ability to look at that space and your ability to honor that space and make a decision based off of the truth of what you decided for yourself gives you access and ease to the person who's going to do the things without asking. One without asking. At our big old rate, y'all, I'm big grown, okay? At our big old rate, there's no way that you should be in a situation where a man, like a man, doesn't hold a door. But a lot of times we allow people to make us believe that people being, masculine in this patriarchal space that's fighting to actually come into balance is a problem. They literally want us to believe as divine feminine that we have to come into a space willing to submit to something that isn't actually something that's worthy of you being submissive to. And it's not about wanting to come out of your divine masculine. If you're in a balanced rate, a lot of times you see where the hiccups is at. 16 comes in and it'll be like, dang, that's crazy. But it's okay. You just turn around and walk back away. And it be that simple. It be that simple. It don't really be complicated. But people want us to complicate things. They want you to not trust yourself. The 16 comes as a thing of, are you willing to trust what you know to be true? Your spirit team gives you a vision almost a year in advance. And then the circumstance comes up. But because of how you feel, you might not feel what it feels like when you get the vision. You might not feel or actually see the wholeness of this experience when you get the perception, or you might, have this travel to see what's going to occur for you. You don't know all the details, but when you get there, there's some knowing. There's some knowing that occurred here. You had opportunities. Nothing hit you off like you weren't blindsided in this. You still have to work through what you got to work through. These emotions got to be moved through you. There's some parts of you that you still retrieving in this space. There's a retrieval in the 16-7, y'all. There's a key that you gain access to in these type of energies, in these type of days. If this is the year that you're in, if this is the month that you're in, if this is your current day, which it is today, you have the ability to take the lesson out of this based off of how you show up in it. Based off of how you show up in it. Spirit wants to know, are you ready to pour into yourself, regardless of how many other people are in agreement with you? Are you okay with the fact that you made these decisions that were best for you, that affected your highest good and gave you exactly what you needed? Y'all, I was given so much of my love, and it took me, because sometimes people don't know what they don't know, right? And you'll be sitting in front of people and they won't even see you. They'll make you, if you allow, if you aren't willing to discern properly, they'll make you believe that what you're doing is an attack against them because of how they don't benefit. And then once you do the thing that you needed to do, that may be difficult. The 16 may be difficult. This may be a difficult decision for you to make. It may be hard for you to make this thing. It may be hard for you to say no to this thing. It may make you feel like you owe it. 6 is about family. It may make you feel like sometimes our family will make us feel like we owe to them something that was always meant to be ours. But they don't even know how to do with your energy what you were always meant to do with it. That's why you never relinquish yourself in nothing. When you come together with something, that's the thing about energy. That's the thing that becomes so clear. The key here is anything that wants to dissolve you and make you fizzle out is not of the Most High. It's not for your good. Anything that makes you want to not be yourself and isn't actually advancing you to a better rate, to a higher rate, is not of the highest good. You work towards something. In the 16, there's work that's been done. I had a lesson. I had a seed. I had information from the Most High. I had a plan. I had a direction I was going. And then I actually have something that is being birthed here. There's fruit that is actually starting to be bare, but there's some tests that's going to come into this space because I need to know if this fruit is actually fruitful. Before I could pick these fruits off of this tree, I need to know if we could shake it up a little bit for you to be able to be at the rate that you need to be at. Spirit will come through and it'll give you what it is that you need so you can see the truth. Some of y'all don't know how strong you are until you done went through some stuff that done tested your strength. Some of you don't know how intelligent you are until you done went through some stuff that done tested your psyche and your ability to interpret. I was so annoyed and I've been so frustrated with people because I could see that they was trying to manipulate me. I could see that people was trying to, you sending stuff towards my crown chakra. You wanting to get me at a space where you could try to convince me this angle didn't work. This angle didn't work. So because this angle didn't work, I'm going to go at it again. Sometimes people won't stop. Sometimes people will not stop at their attempts to make you fall down because you not being allows them to be. That's what the 16 comes in to ask you. Are you actually willing to be? Are you going to use your willpower for you? Are you going to allow it to be used? Because of what I have to give to you, Spirit has something to give to you. Everybody's asking for something, and you're at a rate where you get to receive. However, are you willing to actually be at the rate where you're going to actually cover? 16 is like, I'm covering this space. Spirit gave this to me. I'm going to protect this. I know what it needs to be done. There's a vision here. And then it's 7, test. Have you been in the midst of your tasks, recognizing that in this season, it requires a different aspect that you may have not used before, that you may have not wanted to even honor before because it went against the people who you felt were your people? It be naivety that allows us to be conditioned at rates where we claim energies that were never ours because they situated themselves to cover us. Doppelgangers, I just heard Spirit say. People will try to cover you. There's been a person in my family that's literally been using my identity and stealing from me my whole life. I've taken care of this person. I've done for this person. I've loved this person. It hurt cutting this person off. It hurt walking away from this family because they knew. And here's the thing, friends of family knew as well. And they came in because they were aware and they seen the movements that were happening. They try to get in. Spirit will allow things to keep on coming at you. And in the 7, you might want to lay down. You might be tired. Take a nap, but get back up and be about your business. Why? Because your light is for your using. And it's already been a directed guide and a directed plan and intentions placed on it. And if you don't do what you intended for, it will be siphoned. It'll be siphoned. And it's unfortunate. It's extremely unfortunate, but it's necessary. It's necessary. Why? Because you might not see yourself all the way. You might not know what you really, really, really need to know. Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. You get to see spirit. You get to see how spirit shows up. You get to be in a space where you believed it and you did what you needed to do at this rate. So it came for you. It came for you. Your covering will come for you. I seen people a year before they even showed up in my life and I knew what their intent was. The spirit still had me walk through these steps with these people. Still had me at a rate with these people. Just to see if I was sure about what they had already revealed to me. The good thing about being connected to your ancestors by creating a spiritual relationship, recognizing that this world is more than some surface stuff, is that you have guidance, you have support, and you have the ability to know ahead of time. You don't have to knock you off of your feet. Nothing ever has to take you by surprise, even if you don't see all of the aspects of it. Spirit still has the ability to show up in a way to where things will be made sense of. You get what I'm saying? No, you won't have all the answers, but at the same time, you'll have your knowing. Being empathic is it's not a curse. It's only something that is cursed to you is if you use it as a weapon against yourself. And that be, I recognize each time I talk to this person, I feel drained. Bro, sis, that's an indicator. It's a draining spirit. It's a vampiric energy. Remove yourself. I recognize each time I'm around this space, like my head hurts. I keep on feeling, I have this gut feeling. I had a dream about this last night, and then this happened, and then these coming and talking to me crazy. I knew that this person was going to try to love bomb me. This person ghosted me and didn't communicate, but then they're wanting me to be convinced that it was something that, like, you have to be at a rate where you're able to feel, sense, see, and even taste sometimes the truth in the essence of what is happening. Your empathic abilities, your ability to feel deeply is something that is a gift to you. This is a gift to you. It's a privilege for you to have this. You get to honor this thing and be like, thank you, spirit. Move accordingly. You choosing you will never be a downfall of you. It is nothing that you have to ever apologize for being cautioned in a space. Caution is, hey, you could go, but be careful. You have this rate of information. Are you willing to honor it so you could be able to retrieve your necessary dose? We get to be at a rate in all spaces in life where we get to live and actually be at the rate of living instead of existing in circumstance. We do not have to constantly be beat up. The people with the biggest heart have the most protection. You do not have to fight your protection because you're wanting and you're convinced that the things that you desire are necessary, especially if they're the things that made you most comfortable. As an empathic, we always want to be comfortable. And sometimes the most uncomfortable thing, like pulling your energy from a thing, like no longer giving people access, no longer being willing to be swindled, no longer being willing to be used in a situation, those be the most painful thing to us. The spaces that hurt us the most be the most painful thing to walk away. Not when you really love yourself. Not when you really, really love what matters to you. Not when you know that this is the thing that's been your hindrance. Allow your perspective to change about how you're choosing and why you're choosing what you're choosing. I've been guided to this space. I honor my guide. I'm crying and stuff about things hurting me, and then the weapons that formed against me, I'm giving them the ammunition. You got to be at a rate where you understand that you are no longer the feeding source of anything that isn't going to actually feed you. It's not a fight unless you make it one. It's a flow. 16-7 comes in a flow, y'all. It be a rate where you could literally just like be within spirit and surrender within spirit, knowing that your highest good is always going to be informed to you. I know when people coming before they come. I can see it from a mile away. And people feel like you're testing them, but you're not testing anybody. You come in with pure intentions because you really, really be on the stuff that you be on. It doesn't matter if you see people for who they are and your pure intention wasn't actually what they intended for. Be at a rate where you love yourself. Continue to love yourself. 16 is like, I'm going to continue to nurture the thing that I am birthing because something is being born here. A lot of y'all did the legwork. You got it from the mud. If you getting something from the mud and you done had to do all of these steps, you cannot allow nobody who ain't done no work to come in to try to take credit for what you done built up on your own. Unless they're contributing something at the rate and they done did the healing work, and they're not going to make you go back down to a rate where they're at. A lot of y'all don't understand that in community and access to people, that actually creates a harmony, how you resonate and within yourself. If you stay in a space where people aren't at the rate of you, well, if you stay in a space where people aren't willing to heal like you heal, we're not willing to love and see themselves like you love, it's a difference, okay? Everybody has a purpose, and everybody's not going to do things the way that you do it. But there is a cohesive measure that will link y'all up, and it will not be traumatic. It will not be toxic. It will not be karmic. It might be a little uncomfortable. It might make you have to see yourself. It might have to make you be at a rate where you, hey, listen, I ain't them people that hurt you. It might be at a rate where it's, hey, listen, I ain't never came at you with no, you might have to fix yourself up a little bit. You might have to fix your posture a little bit. But it's going to be a love in that space if you giving it love. It's going to be a reciprocation. It's going to be an 8, an equal give and take. An equal give and take. It's going to be an equal give and take. That's only if you willing and if you allowing it, okay? I love y'all. I want y'all to be at a rate where y'all start seeing the cycles that you're going through, the spaces that you find yourself to be in, the lessons that you're learning, the tasks that you are partaking in, the goals that you are setting, how they apply and how they affect you and how they'll meet you. Allow anything that's negative to be cast down and taken away and moved out of your space. It has no power unless you give it power. Spirit has been showing us this. Spirit has been showing us this. I was going to go live earlier today, and I kid you not, right when I was going to go live, I looked up in the sky and I seen that it was just still, and it was so quiet. And it'd be that quiet stillness that you find exactly what you need. It'd be like, hey, this is what's coming towards you. You seen how you felt and how it made you feel. You had the desire to actually go towards something. Remember what it is that you are asking for, and don't allow anything to come into your vortex to convince you that it is better than the decision and the seed that you were already given, that it is more important. A lot of y'all are way, way bigger than the program and a lot of people's lives, and they get pissed off because the magic that they sent, because their intentions that they had don't fall and actually garner them harvest or fruit. And people will continue to come to you trying to convince you that what you know to be true isn't what you know, because they be beneficial off of your stupidity, off your ignorance, off of your ability to go against yourself. The 16 will come in and it'll say, you were waiting for you this whole time. You've been getting all of these readings and stuff, but you know better. Life has taught you. Life be teaching us, y'all. And the more we have the ability to honor ourselves at the rate where we accept the lesson, where we honor ourselves at the rate where we move accordingly within our being, to be whole, to be whole within oneself. So you come into wholeness in connection. You'll come to a person a full person, because you're a full person who loves themselves, because you love yourself. A community who's loving, no underhanded, no backdooring, no. It's a world that you could create based off of your making. You're actually depositing things in your desire, in your plan, in your program, in your light by choosing what it is that you feel you will align to. The 16 comes in to say, choose wisely, kid. Choose wisely, kid. There's keys here. There's unlocked treasures here for you. And if you just keep walking through these steps, you keep on meeting these tasks and seeing, oh, spirit, we already went through this. Boom. I know how to get through this maze. Yep, got it. Because that's how I've been. Got it. Thank you, spirit. Oh, you wanted me to become some like backdoor and stuff? You wanted me to be a secret? Nah, I'm actually on business. Like I used to hide behind stuff. I ain't hiding no more. Got it, spirit. Spirit will teach you. Oh, you still wanting me to show up at a rate where I will bury my dream so you could be able to use my energy for what you call. That sound like a job. Nah, spirit, this ain't what we doing. I'm a business owner. Got it. You'll keep on moving through the steps that you always were meant to be moving through, regardless of what's being sent to you, and they won't be able to touch you because you're sure within who it is that you're called to be, and that is your covered protection. You get to have it. I love y'all. I hope y'all be at a rate where y'all honor yourselves, where you choose to continue to love yourself through every circumstance, through every situation, and allow yourself to be at a rate where a good measure is found. You have a good measure that's coming to you. You have things that you may have had to like put down in this space. You may have had to like purge some stuff that you didn't really want to let go of. These things you may have held them close to your heart, but they got wings for them to fly if they at the altitude that you floating at. And we got to be at the space where we will and we allow things that are meant to be, and we release the things that are no more, because we're where it's necessary. Okay, y'all be at a good yummy space. Happy Juneteenth. Okay, I really don't want to put a whole lot of energy. I don't really be celebrating holidays and stuff, y'all. And the reason why I don't is because I feel like there's a daily thing that we could meet on a daily measure. And there's certain energy and coordinates that have importance, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of time things just be wanting our energy, and we be on business. It be stuff that we be needing us for. And I'm not about to allow some calendar to come in my life and choose for me where I need to be inserting myself. My ancestors with me on a daily basis. I don't got to honor them on one day that somebody who put them in a predicament chose. And it's like, that's just how I feel about it. Okay. I'm off that rant. Y'all be discerning. Be discerning. If I could give y'all any way of actual guidance of how to basically show up for yourself better, is trust your first instinct and don't question it, even if it feels super, super radical. Be willing to have that radical rebirth in a situation so you could be able to honor yourself at a new rate. So you can receive what you never received. You meet yourself in other people, and you don't realize that the energy that you felt with that person was always yours. They just was coming to unlock a key. So when you feel you engage with things that feel like they're pain, feel like they hurting, sometimes it just be opening you up so you could be able to receive. I had that. And I love that experience because I recognize, regardless of how much this person is trying to convince me that they're the missing key, this is also something that could not hold space for me, that didn't have the ability to see me, that had to have an epiphany in order for it to get. You might be the person who might be walking karma in a lot of people's circumstances. However, you don't punish yourself for being the thing that they couldn't honor from the beginning because you came in with the energy that you actually hold. People don't have to believe it. You could look like you too good to be true. That's not your business. And spirit teaches us that. It's not my business what you don't believe because you haven't healed. It's not my business that you're not willing to sit within yourself and meditate and actually garner your understanding on how to treat people or just being a decent person, because some people just don't want to be decent, you know? And that's not our business either. We get to be focused and mindful and do what it is that we need to do that's best for us, because you got some stuff that you need to be doing. Y'all need to get to work. I'm not gonna get to work. I love myself. I love y'all. Be dope. Okay. Intentionally, on purpose, 24/7, no matter what, no matter how bad shit gets, no matter how ugly it gets, no matter how hard it may feel. Keep going. Keep going. Don't be deterred. Don't be convinced of the lie. Don't choose down or settle. Okay? I love y'all. Peace.